I'm not ruling that there's going to be an eviction. I'm not ruling anything.
I'm more ruling
because it's my job. Okay, sit down.
Okay, hold up. Did anyone else feel that shift? From sit down to he needs to get out in 2 seconds flat. This isn't just legal back and forth, it's personal, and the tension is already thick. Fire question to audience. Do you think judges should be this blunt in court, or is that exactly the kind of no-nonsense approach we need?
He needs to get out. Patrick Turra versus Martin.
Good morning, Your Honor. Maybe you can court Eric with FP 65354 on behalf of plaintiffs.
Good morning. Now number 31.
The plaintiff filed a motion to lift the stay and enter an eviction. At the time, I had not received a response, but I thought I wasn't sure where other proceedings were. I realized what was represented in the motion. And so I set this for hearing. So.
Well, Judge, I hope we would not be here. We've been down this road a number of times. And your question is always the same question. The answer is always the same answer, which is the Wayne County Circuit Court has not closed the file. There's still pending actions in front of the Wayne County Circuit Court that impact on.
Here's your legal deep dive. What we're seeing now is classic jurisdiction tug-of-war. Wayne County versus Washington County, who actually gets to call the shots? It's like a legal ping-pong match with lives in the balance. Book's legal insight. Judges hate stepping on another court's toes, especially when another case is still technically pending. That's why this matters.
And the issue that's before this court. So, unless we're here to argue the Wayne County Circuit Court motion, I don't know what more to say to the judge. There's really nothing more to say.
This property is located in Washington County.
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Yeah. Yes. Properties in Washington, so I'm not clear why I'm worried about anything being litigated in Wayne County.
Well, what happened?
Let me rephrase that. I don't know why I would be worried about that with reference to this active proceeding forth in the eviction happening.
Well, the reason, Judge, is for the same reasons that occurred multiple times before this court, which is the property in Washington County is subject to a settlement agreement that was entered into with the Wayne County Circuit Court judge. So this is part and parcel of this global settlement. And the reality of it is that this case, this property, is still subject to the jurisdiction of the Wayne County Circuit Court judge, as has been the case every time we get before this court. As every time we get before this court, it's the same issue. And now this is, I will admit, this is the first time I've heard the court say this, but the reality is still the reality. This property is part of, and Judge, I know you do not want me to repeat myself, but I don't like to repeat myself, but I'm a little concerned that if this is not being gotten across, is every time we come to court, it's because of the same issues of this global settlement that is before the Wayne County Circuit Court judge.
Oh, no. Before I would, right. I mean, the reason the case is here is for whatever its reasons. But part of the reason that things were stayed is because clearly it was headed up the chain, the appellate chain. My understanding is that's no longer the case.
No. And let me
know that.
No, that's not the case. And so let me explain to this one, Judge, because I'm trying to get into your head. What the court, I think, is concerned about is the Washington County Circuit Court case that directly impacted this case. And that case, the Washington County Circuit Court case, which was appealed to the Michigan Court of Appeals.
Right.
Okay, that case was dismissed, Judge, as a result of a global settlement that is before the Wayne County Circuit Court judge. So what happens in this case is still being handled by the Wayne County Circuit Court judge because the Washtenaw County case, which was appealed to the Michigan Court of Appeals, was voluntarily dismissed as a result.
We're now 5 minutes in, and the judge has had enough. You can literally hear it. Let me cut to the chase. When a judge drops that line, buckle up. It usually means things are about to get real, fast.
Of the settlement.
Let me cut to the chase. Why wouldn't I just lift my stay, issue the order of eviction, allow it to be executed at some future time? That they couldn't do it right away. Allow it to be executed at some future time. And if you're correct, then get a stay from Wayne County.
Okay, well, Judge, okay, now, and I'm hearing you, and I'll walk on that road with you. So, the issue of the quote unquote eviction is a function of the ownership of the subject property. The ownership of the subject property is specifically before the Wayne County Circuit Court judge. So let's assume that the court says, okay, I mean, enough's enough. Although it's the same issue that has been before this court multiple times, and the court says the same thing multiple times, which is, I'm not going to do anything until the Wayne County Circuit Court has made a decision. Which is what
I don't know that I said anything about Wayne County.
No,
I think I said something about Washtenaw County and the Court of Appeals and the Supreme Court.
no,
Go ahead.
no. It's never about the Washtenaw County. It's always about Wayne County. It's always about Wayne County. It's never about Washtenaw County. Because Washtenaw County, Judge, again, was appealed to the Michigan Court of Appeals. It was voluntarily dismissed as a result of the global settlement that was before Wayne County Circuit Court judge.
And Mr. Fair, I'm saying, let's assume for the sake of argument that you're correct. I have a feeling there's going to be disagreement as to what you're saying, in part. But why then wouldn't I just grant the relief, issue the order, and then you get a stay of that and allow an opportunity so I wouldn't have it where it could be executed?
Engagement hook. If
Directly
you were in the
impact
judge's
this
seat,
case.
would you go ahead and
And
issue the
that
eviction with
case,
conditions, or
Wayne
wait
County,
until the other court
Washtenaw
makes a
County
move?
Circuit Court case,
Thinking face,
which
this
was
is a legal
appealed
game of
to the
chess,
Michigan Court
not
of
checkers,
Right.
and the next move matters a
Okay,
lot.
that
Executed immediately. Give you an opportunity to then get before the Wayne County Circuit Court, which you're saying this property is part of some global settlement, and allow that court to basically stay any order of eviction or enjoin the plaintiffs in this case from.
Judge, allow me to walk down that road. Okay, so
Why is that a hard question? I don't need to be walked down the road. Why is that a difficult question to answer?
because the hearing, no, because the hearing that you're making reference to, that I should go before the Wayne County Circuit Court judge and ask for a stay, is a hearing that is essentially scheduled for July the 18th. That hearing will address the very point this court is making. So
Then why don't I grant the relief, indicate that the writ cannot be executed until your hearing's on the 28th of July, that it can't be executed until the 28th of July, giving the 10-day statutory period from the time of that hearing.
Okay, Judge, this is the road always walk down, because what happens is on the 18th, we don't know what Judge Ewell will do. Judge Ewell may say, I'm not going to hear it on the 18th. Or, and Judge, I'm only going by what happened in the past. In the same
Sorry, raising questions.
You're gonna have to leave. You're gonna have to leave.
I do not want to argue, Judge.
Go ahead.
So, what has happened in the past, which is probably what's going to happen today, is that on the 18th, Judge Ewell will do one of two things, which has happened in the past. When this issue is before this court, Judge Ewell may or may not hear the case on the 18th, or may hear the case on the 18th and then decide not to make a decision until sometime in the future. Now, again, Judge, I'm not saying this for the first time. This has been the history of this case. Now, if we look at what happened, they filed a motion to go before the Wayne County Circuit Court judge, and it was scheduled for the following Friday. At the same time, they filed this motion in front of you and filed a motion in front of the 35th District Court, assuming that the Wayne County Circuit Court judge would close the file. Because I will tell you, Judge, the question that you always ask, this is the question you always ask: what's the status of the Wayne County Circuit Court case? Is it open or is it closed? The answer is always the same. It's open. Your response is always the same. Well, I'm not going to do anything until the Wayne County Circuit Court makes a decision. And then a couple times, Judge, you said, I'm going to adjourn it to right after when the circuit court judge makes a decision.
So why don't they put an end to that and just grant their relief?
Well, because
it doesn't leave you, Mr. Fair, without remedy. Because you can always ask the Wayne County Circuit Court, as I've said, to either stay that writ if they've taken some jurisdiction over this property, or to enjoin the defendants from proceeding on the writ that I would issue.
Well, Judge, this is a conversation we've had at Mazda all the time. And
well, I'm trying to end it.
But I think, Judge, what you recognize is, well, that means I've got to run to the Wayne County Circuit, Wayne County Circuit Court, ask for a stay. The judge is going to say, are we going to be hearing this on the 18th? And then on the 18th, like what has happened in the past.
Well, hold on a second. No, you wouldn't have to do that if you would listen to what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I could grant the plaintiff's relief. They could not do anything, and I'm not even saying on the 18th. I'm saying for a 10-day period after that hearing. So if the judge at that point in Wayne County doesn't do anything, the 10-day statutory period will begin to run on the writ.
Wait a minute. Wait, Judge. Okay, so the motion that is before the Wayne County Circuit, which plaintiff acknowledges affects what this court did. What they're asking the Wayne County Circuit Court is close the case, close it, and then if it's closed, then they can come to you and say, "Hey, Judge, it's closed." So let's go back to that point. On the 18th, if the judge does not close it, if the judge does what he has done,
if the judge does not close it, you could request of the judge to enjoin the plaintiffs from proceeding forward. If the judge does close it, the writ would proceed.
Well,
that seems really simple.
The 10 days after.
Right, 10 days after.
But that means a couple things. Number one, if I'm hearing the court is saying, well, if it gets adjourned to August 18th, another month. And if at that time the judge closes it, that means in this interim period between July the 18th and August 18th, by definition, they can't do anything.
No. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, you're saying the Wayne County Circuit Court has that
this is part of some global resolution.